there always be an evil corporation involved? I finished watching the K-drama Bloody Flower. Let's talk about it. So if you saw my initial video on this, you know that I love the setup. And I do. I loved the setup of the series. The idea that somebody had murdered a bunch of people but had developed a cure for incurable diseases, I thought was a really interesting moral dilemma. But the farther this series went on, the less interesting they made it. It's honestly less interesting if those 17 people were evil. It's less interesting if there was a shadow organization responsible for a lot of the evil in the first place. Once the trial was over on this show and the system had been set up where he was going to be treating people, this just lost a lot of its interest for me. And I think the big problem was there were too many villains. Every time it pulled back, there was another level of villain. There was the company, and then there was the guy's dad, and then there was our female lead. Like, there were too many bad guys, frankly. You had the cop, you had the assemblyman, there were just like, everyone was evil. It really had nothing to do with the central question of the series, which is how many lives is worth sacrificing for a cure? There were just so many villains that our actual main character, who was supposed to be kind of a villain, felt less like a villain. Personally, if this were my show, I think what I would have done is tell the story of our criminal alongside the story of his trial. Because what I wanted to see was him developing this cure. I wanted to see how he did it. I wanted to see why he needed to murder people in order to do it. I wanted to see what was going on there. Maybe it would have been fun to see a descent into madness or a slow descent into like a god complex. But ultimately, it felt like the show just wanted to excuse him. They wanted to make him a victim rather than a perpetrator. I just think that's the less interesting way to go. Where this show really shined was in the bond between our two male leads. I think the idea of a father who's willing to sacrifice anything, including his morality, to save his child, also very interesting. But they ultimately didn't make him really do anything that bad. I kind of wish they had gone there with him too. Breaking our criminal out of jail so that he could save his daughter, very interesting. But like, they didn't make it mean anything. Like, nobody got hurt. He didn't harm anybody. And again, it was this evil corporation coming after them rather than the police. So getting away from them felt like the moral move. I'm just kind of overall disappointed in where this went, to be honest. I liked the setup, I liked the idea, I liked the first 4 episodes, but then the last 4 episodes became a different show and not a show that I thought was as interesting as the first 4. So those are my thoughts. It had a great setup, it had a strong start, and then it just couldn't hang on to the end. Did you watch Bloody Flower? What did you think about it? Let me know your thoughts. I would, of course, always love to chat further.